Good morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Friday. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley. That's right. We are back. Happy Friday. You know our show, Eye on the Valley, is brought to you by SCVI and iLEAD Schools. We are a network of charter schools, and remember, charter, it means free. We are a network of charter schools with campuses in Castaic, Agua Dulce, Lancaster. We've got a fully accredited online school. We've got a burgeoning home study program. iLEAD Exploration is just an absolutely amazing program. And in fact, you're going to hear a lot about iLEAD Exploration here in just a couple of minutes. But for more information on any of our schools, classroom-based or virtual, give us a visit at iLeadschools.org, and you can check us out and find the school that is absolutely perfect for your child. So yeah, we keep our eye on education here in Santa Clarita and across the nation, but like the show says, we keep our eye on the Valley as well, bringing you everything that you need to know about what's what here in the Valley, and we do so while trying to put a smile on your face, because you know, whatever you're doing, if you're not giggling a little bit, you're not doing it right. So, yeah, we try to keep that smile on your face. How are you? How you been? I'm doing great. Like I said, how tough could it be? It's Friday morning. It's gorgeous out there. Spent the evening at Dodger Stadium last night watching the National League West champion Dodgers put it to the hated ones from up north. That's right, Giants. Take that. Your season is over. I just love it out there at the stadium. It is, there's nothing like baseball, nothing like the Dodgers. And now we're sliding into another weekend. It's gonna be another beaut out there this weekend, so let's just soak it up. But before you do, relax a little bit. The weekend will get here soon enough. We've got a great show for you. So do me a favor, pour yourself an extra cup of coffee. Just lay back a little bit, or if you're in the car, just recline that seat just a little bit. Relax, slow down, take it easy. You'll get there, and enjoy the show with us. We're going to be here for a couple hours, and we've got an absolutely great show for you. In just a minute, you're going to meet the directors of iLEAD Exploration, that incredible home study program I was telling you about earlier. We've got Julia Kim and Jenny Joy joining us on the phone, and they run the home study program. And you know, I always struggle. Is it homeschool? Is it home study? Well, you're going to find out that it's kind of neither. But you know, I get myself in trouble a little bit. But it's called an independent study program, and like I said, I get myself in trouble. I'm going to have that. I'm going to have Jenny and Julia clear that up for you here in just a second. I think that'll be the first question I ask, is have them explain the difference. So tune in for that, and they'll educate you, just like they're educating thousands of kids across the Southland. And a little bit later on in the show, we will speak with Dr. Claudia Acosta. Dr. Acosta runs the World Languages and Cultures Department at College of the Canyons. They're doing some great things out there in the land of foreign language, including, well, they're offering free Friday night movies. So there you go. Now you've got something to do on a Friday night that'll save a little bit in your pocketbook. Great date night out there at COC. So let's hear what Dr. Acosta has playing coming up soon. And in hour number 2, that's right, because that's not all we've got. We'll also be talking to Jeff Stabile. Do you know Jeff? Jeff is a great guy. He's just kind of quiet, keeps his head down, and serves tons of people who are well-deserving here in Santa Clarita. Jeff is the director of Santa Clarita Veteran Services Collaborative. He's an absolutely amazing human being. And then when Jeff's done, yes, because Mom won't let me have nice things of my own, my big brother will be here. That's right. Big T will be swinging in with some fun and some trivia, and so it'll be fun. Like I said, going to be a great show, so let's go ahead and get it started. My first guests this morning are the leaders of iLEAD Exploration. Julia Kim, she is one of our co-directors. She's excited to serve iLEAD families by supporting their unique paths to learning. Her own adventures homeschooling her kids have led her to experience the value of embracing learning in all its shapes, sizes, colors, and styles. She feels blessed to come alongside families and work together to support their educational goals and philosophies. And her partner, Jenny Joy, is humbled and deeply honored to have been selected this year as the co-director of our esteemed school. With over 25 years of hands-on experience in K-12 education, she joined the iLEAD family in 2017, driven by a passion for providing a personalized education that empowers all learners to reach their highest potential. Jenny Joy, Julia Kim, welcome back to Eye on the Valley. It's good to have you, ladies.
Thank you so much, Matt. This is Julia.
Well, Julia, you've been with iLEAD Exploration for quite a while. I believe this is your second year as director. And Jenny, you're joining us. This is your first year as co-director. We'll get into your journeys in just a little bit, but I want to clear things up because, I need to be official, and that's not something that I'm very good at. My mouth gets me in trouble sometimes. So I want to dismiss any confusion. I mess up and I call your program a homeschool sometimes, but there are some legal technical terms that I have to remember. And you're an independent study charter school. Can you tell us a little bit? So what's the difference between homeschool and independent study?
Absolutely. So one of the main differences I want to compare independent study with, your traditional brick and mortar and homeschooling. So with independent study, it's kind of like the best of both worlds where you're connected, so you get the perks and support of a credentialed teacher and access to all the public school offerings. But you kind of also have the best of the world where you have the opportunity to have your classroom, quote-unquote classroom, exist beyond the walls of a building. So in a brick and mortar, you're going to a school site every day.
Sure.
Whereas I will say I know for, like people take first day of school photos with their kids in front of the school.
Yeah.
For our kids' first day, I did those little boards, and I put, there's no classroom, so I put the world as my classroom. First day of school, and so we had photos like that, and I think that was the amazing opportunity to tap into the resources of the school, get the services and opportunities, events, field trips, all that stuff planned, having a credentialed teacher come alongside you to be able to help, actually helping my child, find their voice and choices. It was really hard for my kids to exert autonomy over some of the assignments they were doing and have that say. And so I would say with our independent study program in particular, we really lean into having kids develop that voice choice and collaborate over ways that they can show and demonstrate their learning through individualized learning plans. And I would say that's another difference because it's a collaborative experience. So with homeschool, right, it might just be that parent or family running the show, whereas at a brick and mortar, it's the teacher running the show. With our independent study program, you have a credentialed teacher. We train our staff to be able to partner with learners and families and really try to find and tap into those passions and interests because research shows when you have autonomy and voice over your education, you buy into it. And so I think we really understand the power of that voice and choice in education and how that, in conjunction with the opportunities we have and experience as credentialed facilitators, it provides an opportunity that really is unique and can help a child, right, discover themselves and become lifelong learners and really explore who they want to be and how they want to kind of serve in their life in the world.
Julia, I love the way you said that your classroom is the world, because I remember growing up when I was a kid. Now, this is many, many years ago, but I did have a couple of friends that were homeschooled, and it felt like the world was like locked behind their doors there at home. You mentioned that your families, they are studying from home or from outside the home. They're with their families, oftentimes guiding their instruction, but they get the benefit of that credentialed teacher guiding them along and a lot more benefits. But it's not that old school, like I remember my friends growing up, stay at home all day, every day, right? You have studios, you have curriculum libraries, families are getting out and doing stuff. Can you tell us maybe about, your school options outside the home that you have? I'm talking specifically about the studios and the curriculum libraries.
So number one, I do want to clarify, for our independent study program, we do have instructional funds, and that's actually not a partnership with community vendors, but I can get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
To specifically share about our learning studio, we do have a learning studio in Costa Mesa. It meets twice a week. It's kind of an integrated platform where they do science, social studies, and they do rotations. They actually also offer elective options, and so that's in Costa Mesa. But in addition to that, the specific setup of the OC Learning Studio on Tuesdays, Thursdays, we have different events. So at both our Costa Mesa location, and we also have an Acton location. That's where our curriculum libraries are. Mm-hmm. And we utilize the curriculum libraries kind of like as a little mini hub for a lot of activities. So like if we do a book club and we want to have a culminating party completing that book club for middle schoolers, we might have a party at the Acton Curriculum Library. Or if there was a special TK event, building little houses, gingerbread houses or something, that might be at our OC Learning Studio. So we have two locations, Costa Mesa and Acton, where we have some school-hosted event programs. Mm-hmm. But in addition to that, I actually wanted to share with instructional funds with our independent study program, we have vetted partnerships with community vendors. And that's another option for families to utilize, again, in collaboration with their facilitator to support the educational goals of each child. So I'm going to be honest, as a parent, the easiest thing for me to do was to drop my kid off and pick them up at the end of a school day. When we were doing independent study, I mean, it was nuts. We were museum this day, here this day, field studies this day. We have our social studies class with this vendor on this day. And so there are so many events, so many opportunities, learning opportunities, and I think the beauty of that is you're not locked into a classroom with the same kids every day for the entire school year. You have some of that, right, with weekly classes, but I loved the cross-age interaction at field trips, the opportunity to interact with experts in different fields. So I would say beyond just getting out of the house, you're interacting with kids of your age, of different ages, and adults who are experts, and that experience is definitely unique. And we're able to do that because, like we said, the world is our classroom.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The world is your classroom. And gosh, that's really exemplified by your school is really spread out. You talked about your different locations in Costa Mesa and in Acton. It's so really spread apart, but you do a lot more like hyper local stuff. You have plenty of local events that families participate in because you've got families in LA, the San Fernando Valley, the Antelope Valley, really all over the Southland. So can you tell us a little bit about some of those local events that you have that families meet up and interact with?
Absolutely. So one way that if you are interested kind of in seeing the things that we do on our website, we have an event section, and there's a lot of opportunities. And I will say, because we are spread out over 5 counties, we are very conscious to make sure things are accessible for, in different ways. And so we have a lot of virtual options, and we have a lot of in-person options. We do park days, and so if you are following any of our social media accounts, we've been publicizing a lot of park days recently. And those are local facilitators in those areas hosting park days where learners from our school can just get together, interact, families can meet each other, play. Sometimes we have activities, sometimes STEM activities. We also have, especially with our high school group, we have meetups. So sometimes they meet up and have a game day at some other location. For example, today, in a little bit, we have a high school meetup in Costa Mesa. Then next week we have a high school meetup in Pasadena. The following week in Valencia. So there are different opportunities for families in different areas, different regions, but there's, again, so many. Sometimes there's things happening concurrently on the same day in different cities. So definitely checking out our website, our events tab, to see what's going on in different locations.
Yeah, and I've clicked on that tab before, and you're right. You've got so many different events going on. That's kind of the beauty of having such a large school. I mean, it doesn't get any smaller than being in an independent study program, right? Because it's just you, and you're guiding your own experience. But then you've got so many families all over the place that you offer tons of events for students and their families to get together and interact and socialize their education. I have to, because so much of what we do when we're talking about your program is breaking those myths. Because every time I talk to somebody about, oh my gosh, you would love our home study, our independent study program, right away my friends just jump in and they start with, oh, I could never, I just couldn't, I'm not a... But a lot of families have discovered that their kids really did thrive, for example, during distance learning. Or they have scheduling issues, right? My kid's an actor, my kid's an elite athlete, or there's other things going on. We want to maybe get off the grid a little bit, do a little bit of traveling, or whatever the case is. they discover that an independent study program really is right for their kid, but they're concerned about their own ability as parents. What about families who would be new to the home study lifestyle? What would they be provided with from iLEAD Exploration that tells them, yes, you can, even you?
I love that, Matt. I was there. I was that parent who was like, I could not imagine homeschooling my child, having them home. What are the paths? So that was me, and I discovered that I was in a spot where that was my only option, and it was the best decision I ever made. And my own son's life was dramatically turned upside down and changed because of the power of personalized education. So I took that step, I jumped in, and I did it, and I learned all about it. And what I can say is that you can do that too, and we will come alongside you. We will have an educational facilitator who will work with you, who will be paired with you. If it's something you've never done, they will come alongside you, help you find curriculum or learning centers or a path that fits your child's unique need. It changed the life of my child, and I know so many others. And I know so many kids who are on various paths. As Matt mentioned, they may be an actor or have various things that they're doing during the day, and this is an excellent opportunity to customize their education to fit the exact need of what they need at the right time. And that can be done in a variety of different ways. So I loved that you asked that, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. And so absolutely, if your first thought is, I could never, no, you're going to get a ton of support. And then we're going to talk about this in a little bit. If you're thinking, no, I've been doing this for a long time, I can handle it, well, then you're going to get less support as you need. You're going to get as much as you need, but as little as you want. Jenny, we do need to take a quick break, but can you tell people how they can enroll if they're starting to get up that gumption of, okay, let me try this? Where can they get more information? How can they enroll at iLEAD Exploration?
Yeah, absolutely. Your first step would be to go to our website, iLEADexploration.org. You will see on there that you can click Enroll Now. If you click there and fill out that form, then more information will be sent with you, to you in an email, and then somebody will reach out to you and guide you from there. So it's a really easy process, Matt.
Definitely. So even if you're on the fence, go ahead and click Enroll Now. There's no deposit required. Remember, it's a free public charter school. There's no commitment. You can just get more information, talk to somebody on Jenny and Julia's team. Julia Kim and Jenny Joy joined me this morning. They are the directors of iLEAD Exploration, the independent study, the home study program that you can do. Find out more about their program when we get back. I'm Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley. Joining me this morning are Julia Kim and Jenny Joy. They are the directors of iLEAD Exploration, high-quality, independent study. I call it home study because that's what it seems like to me, but technically they are an independent study program with the supports that you and your child need, with the freedom and autonomy that you deserve. So, Julia, Jenny, I got to be honest, there are a lot of independent study programs out there in the space, but what makes your program, what makes iLEAD Exploration unique compared to some of these other independent study programs?
Well, Matt, I think what makes us so unique is that our program is customizable. We can offer you as much support as needed or as little. And we offer layered supports and opportunities for our kids, whether they're struggling or they're excelling. We meet them where they are, and I think that is so important. We meet their needs academically, socially, and emotionally through just a variety of ways. And we have opportunities no matter where you are as a learner. For our struggling kids, we have interventionists for English and language arts and math to kind of fill in the gaps in those places where they're struggling. For our excelled learners, we have gifted support team that will come alongside them and offer support and give them extra opportunities. We have just an absolutely dynamic high school team that you will hear more about, I'm sure, in a bit, that offers counseling opportunities. We have live instruction for our high school learners. We have social emotional opportunities through lunch bunch and meeting with our counselors. Just so many ways to communicate. But another thing that I think super unique about us and that I love is that oftentimes in independent study programs, we lose that connection or that community with other kids and learners. And our program just offers a variety of opportunities for our kids to connect through community in various ways, whether that's, as Julia mentioned earlier, meetups at the park or through clubs, either online or in person, just so many ways that they can connect. We have art classes available and so many enrichment opportunities where our kids come together in person. And I think that's so important as well. But Matt, I think like above all, something that's really unique about us is that we're really passionate about what we do. We love what we do. I love what I do. I know Julia does, and our team, I can feel it all the time. People are in their lanes and they're passionate about it. They love it. We have like our project-based learning team. They are passionate. They're doing a phenomenal job. And I think that comes through to our families and our kids. And people want to be here. They want to be here because they know that we know that what we are doing really works. And I mentioned earlier, I did this with 2 of my own children, and I believe it changed their life and is who they are today because of personalized learning that met them where they are, that they weren't getting in a traditional brick-and-mortar school. So that really makes us unique and makes us stand out.
You're absolutely right, and you hit on it, personalized learning. You know, so many parents are concerned because when they send their kids to school, a lot of families struggle because my kid's not getting what he needs. He's not getting what he deserves. But with your program, it is completely customized. You're talking about more tailored than a tailored suit is your child's education with iLEAD Exploration. So I know that when we took that break, families were encouraged. They went to your website, iLEADexploration.org, and I know a couple of them hit that Enroll Now button. So what can they expect after that? Walk me through the process a little bit. I'm excited. I hit Enroll Now. What happens next?
Yes, they will receive information about what, if they want to move forward, if they have questions, we will absolutely answer questions, but they will be prompted with the things that they would need to submit to actually enroll. And then an educational facilitator will reach out to them at that point and answer any questions and walk them through how to order curriculum or what the best fit might be for their child, kind of talk them through, do they want to be at a learning center? They will help them figure out, what would be a good fit for that, what curriculum would work for them. And they would really just start with a discussion and figure out what's the best way to personalize this for the child. And if, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of families already know exactly what they want to do, and that's great. The facilitator will come alongside them, and they will work with them for that. But we are definitely here to answer any questions along the way, and then they will enroll and get started, and there will be funds that they can use to, purchase any curriculum if that's the direction they go, or to pay for learning centers or vendor opportunities, online opportunities. So, they will be supported and guided every step of the way as soon as they decide to enroll with us.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because I want to make it clear to our audience. You talked about curriculum, vendors, online programs. Your families have a wide variety of options available to use their educational funds. Can you explain just in a little bit more detail, what are educational funds and what are some of the things that are available to use those funds on?
Yes, so we have funding that families can use for our TKK learners. There's $2,600. Our 1st through 8th grade, $3,100, and high school, $3,500. That is used to first make sure core curriculum is in place. So we want to make sure that we're hitting the English language arts, math, science, social studies, that we are getting curriculum to come alongside and make sure that all standards are being met for our kids. And like I mentioned, there is just a wide variety of curriculum to choose from, and it's going to vary, from child to child what works. We do have our curriculum libraries, which would be a great place to go check things out for free and test them out and see if that's a good thing. And then when you find a good fit, then using your funding to move forward with that. The funding can also be used for vendors, for buying materials. The families will submit orders to their facilitator, who then will place those orders. The materials will be shipped directly to the families to begin. And then the funding, we will order the classes for the families, and then they will attend using those funding. Did that answer clearly? I don't know.
I think so. It's just, well, I think we could talk for hours about all the different options and opportunities your families have. Just for example, if your kid's a musician and plays the trombone, your educational funds might be able to go towards trombone lessons. Or, if they're into martial arts and that's your PE election, they might be able to use their educational funds for that. Or to buy a chemistry textbook or a microscope. And you know what, though? Don't buy that microscope. That curriculum library that Jenny was talking about, they've got all kinds of materials. You can go check it out for free and keep it as long as you want. We talked to your curriculum librarian just a couple weeks ago, and it just blew my mind, all the free resources that your families have access to. Now, again, you mentioned, Jenny, every child is unique, and I know there's a lot of families out there that are excited and going to try this, but there are other families that say, no, you don't understand. My kid has some different needs, and so an independent study program wouldn't work for them because my child's an English learner, or my child has special education needs, or, my kid maybe needs a little bit more social interaction in their classroom with kids, or things like that. But you guys have developed a ton of programs to support learning with iLEAD Exploration. Can you tell us about some of those support programs? Because you really can meet the needs of all kids, can't you?
Yes, so I will share, I want you to imagine a staff that is mirroring, because again, one of our school-wide learner outcomes is lifelong learners, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to imagine what it looks like to mirror what we want learners to do with adults that work within our school. So we have actually something called investment teams, and I remember when we were coming up with the word investment team, we didn't want to call it adjunct duty, because we were like, it's not a duty, it's not an adjunct, it's an investment, and who are we investing in? And we said, we want to invest in the school, we want to invest in our learners, and we want to invest in ourselves as learners. And at the core of it, why I'm bringing up what are investment teams is I actually wanted to choose, that was the genesis of some of the programming that our school is now offering in a large scale. And that came from, we actually started doing surveys and asking people, who are you? How do you best learn? How do you best serve others? And in what area? Right, that voice and choice that I was mentioning. Mm-hmm. So we actually reflect that with our staff. The people who are like, I love planning things. I love going everywhere. I take my kids on field trips twice a week, whatever. Those people, guess what team they're on? The field studies team.
There you go.
The people who love design, communication, and all that stuff, they're on our communications team. We actually have an entire EL team, people who are experienced and excited and passionate about supporting English language learners. We have an intervention team with experience in intervention, I think one person's studied reading intervention for 2 years, and so we have people who are able to lean into their talent, their skill, their passion. So in a way, because our staff is able to exert some level of voice and choice over how they're actually investing into the school, these programs, as Jenny was mentioning, people in their lane. What happens when people are doing what they want to do and are good at, you are able to create a TK program just for our TK kids with in-person events and TK field trips, EL classes that meet weekly. We have multiple intervention opportunities, and we're really, really excited about our PBL, our project-based learning team. And they're excited to create all these project-based learning units for kids and create a lot of opportunities for them to explore different topics and to just kind of have fun. And for a lot of these facilitators, it's fun for them to do it. So you have this best of both worlds where you have people who are doing these different who are serving in these different roles in these different programs, who are there because they wanted to be there and wanted to do this out of their choice. And so I will say it's a combination of we have these great programs, but also the people running it, it's near and dear to their heart. Yeah. So for field studies, they're not satisfied with just offering field trips. This year we actually launched a brand new opportunity. We call it iExplore, and that's actually going to give our kids more access to field studies opportunities than we had before. So these are people who are in the role that they're doing, but they're always looking for better ways to serve learners because it's something that they're interested in. so I think that is something that's really, really cool with our program is these investment teams to help support the programming. And if there's a need, Matt, and families and learners bring it up, and we happen to have staff who are like, you know what, give that to me. Let me do that. And then we create it. So we actually are able to pivot and create things that are needed.
And, you know, I've watched it happen. I remember having that conversation about how powerful, you mentioned project-based learning is, but in an independent study program, you could never do project-based learning. Well, y'all worked really hard at it. You cracked that nut, and now you've got this growing team offering all different kinds of projects to your kids. But high school is a game changer. What does independent study look like in the high school? A lot of folks don't know that you've got a great high school program. How do they do? And are your high schoolers going on to college after high school?
We have the most amazing. I wish we had a screen so you could see the sheer number of colleges that our kids are going to post iLEAD. I mean, I'm talking top tier colleges. Private university, there's a little bit of everything. Career, we have a little bit of everything. And I do want to say, we have an amazing high school program. Highest retention in our school is within our high school program. People are coming to our school because of our high school program. And I really think at the core of it is our high school leadership team. We have Lisa Rittenhouse as the coordinator. We have 2 academic counselors and a college and career advisor. And when I tell you these people are doing what they would do, I almost feel like even without getting paid, it is, and Jenny mentioned passion. I mean, our college and career advisor, she'd be doing this even if this job didn't exist. And so their core goal, can I tell you something that's really, you're right, I know it might sound interesting, but their core goal isn't anything more than who are you to this child and who are you? What do you want to learn? Who do you want to be? What do you want to learn? How do you want to get there? And it's so genuine that watching and witnessing these, high school kids who initially might be a little hesitant, but really explore and set out to discover that part of them with the encouragement of our high school staff has been really, really touching to watch. And so I would say at the core of it are the leadership within the high school team, the advisors, the counselors are so amazing, guiding the path for these learners in the unique ways that they want to grow. And, Matt, we have all the other bells and whistles. We are WASC accredited, NCAA approved. We have ASB, NHS. Clubs. We have live classes. We call them iLEAD Live. We have asynchronous options. We call them iLEAD Flex. We have the A through G path for UC, CSU, kids who want to head there, or we have a customized path, which is also college focused, but it's a different path for kids who really have a customized, like a unique goal that they want to address. Another unique thing with our high schoolers that are drawing kids is we have a lot of AP testing. I think there are like 13 different AP test options available last year. And another fun thing, super fun, that I'm looking forward to this year because I had so much fun last year, prom, grad bash, club opportunities, meetups. So lots going on with high school. It is definitely a lot of fun. Love going to our in-person graduation. We have packed houses at our graduation. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, you talk about hyper-individualized learning and individualized education. It just is the opportunity for families to build the exact perfect educational experience for their children at iLEAD Exploration. Julia, one more time, how can people enroll? How can they learn more about your school, iLEAD Exploration?
www.ileadexploration.org.
Absolutely. And like I said, there's no deposit required. We are a free public charter school. Even if you're on the fence, go ahead and hit the enrollment button and you'll get a lot more information. And as you get more familiar with the school, then you can make your commitment and enroll your child today at ileadexploration.org. Julia Kim, Amber Music. No. Julia Kim, Jenny Joy, directors of iLEAD Exploration Homeschool. Sorry about that. There's an old copy and paste in there from last time you were on. Julia Kim, Jenny Joy, directors of iLEAD Exploration Home Study Program. Ladies, I want to thank you for joining me this morning. You have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Stick around. I am Matt Watson. You're listening to SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley. We'll be right back on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. I am Matt Watson, your host, and you are listening to SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley. My next guest is a professor and chair of the Department of Modern Languages and Cultures at College of the Canyons. Claudia Acosta was born and raised in Nicaragua until the age of 14. She holds a doctorate from the Graduate School of Education and Psychology at Pepperdine University. Her dissertation is on the role of international education in California community colleges. She holds a master's degree in Hispanic literatures from the University of California, Riverside, and a bachelor's degree from Cal State University San Marcos in liberal arts and broadcast journalism. And her undergraduate work is in the area of humanities. She's participated in the programs of the Council for Latin American and Peninsular Studies of the International Area Studies program at Yale University, completing postgraduate courses in European Studies, Latin American literature, films, and second language acquisition. Dr. Acosta is the co-author of 3 language publications. She has extensive experience teaching and developing interdisciplinary programs abroad. She served as the International Education Liaison for 2 years. She currently serves as co-chair of the College Planning Team and Education Travel Advisory Committee. And because that's not enough, she also serves as president of the Santa Clarita Sister Cities and Santa Clarita Valley International Program, where she has been a member of the Executive Advisory Board since 2003. Dr. Acosta, welcome to Eye on the Valley.
Thank you so much for having me. By the way, I am immediate past president of Santa Clarita Sister City and Santa Clarita Valley International Program.
You are correct. I need to update your bio. So, can you tell us a little bit about your department's mission and the languages and cultures that you focus on there at COC?
Thank you. Yes. So we offer 5 languages: Spanish, Italian, French, German, and Chinese. And the mission is to provide actually quality language instruction based on recognized national standards. And we contribute actively to cross-disciplinary international initiatives on campus and also in the community. So we offer a number of certificates of specializations along with a associate's degree in Spanish and in French. And these certificates, by the way, are at all levels: basic, intermediate, and advanced levels. So, the mission plays a very important role in shaping culturally aware and adaptable and skilled individuals on campus. And we ensure that our students are well prepared to thrive in the modern, interconnected global landscape.
Yeah, that's such an amazing experience. Now, Dr. Acosta, you know that I, a while back, developed my fluency in Spanish, but it wasn't easy. I found that just studying a couple hours in class wasn't enough to become proficient. It wasn't until I was able to immerse myself in the culture that I was really able to develop not only the linguistic but the cultural proficiency. And I know that you encourage your students to do the same. In what ways does your department encourage students to immerse themselves in the cultures associated with the languages they're studying?
Well, first of all, they're encouraged to think beyond their linguistic comfort zones and engage in all these cross-disciplinary studies. By having them explore the nuances of these languages, they understand better the people who speak to them, right? And they promote empathy and tolerance and global citizenship. Mm-hmm. I think bringing in the culture makes it a lot easier for students to open up to understanding the language and to understanding that they will make errors. You mentioned how difficult that was.
Sure.
And so we actually use a total immersion approach. So all languages are taught from day one in the target language. And we follow a number of foreign language techniques for them to, first of all, be able to really be able to feel comfortable after a while and understand that they will only understand half. We only provide 50% of comprehensible input, so they have to deal with that ambiguity. At the same time, they look for the meaning. They follow the verb, the action, and that's how they communicate. So, these classes, and just going through that experience, which could be really scary for some students, but, after day 3, they're fine being exposed to the language and knowing that they don't understand every single word, that each day they're going to be acquiring, because it's not just a language learning. As you mentioned, you studied that's a conscious process. It's really to acquire the language, which is not a conscious, and you do it without even knowing, right? Being exposed to the language. So, all of these are really valuable skills for the job market, and they understand. They now come prepared, and also with the understanding that they need to know the language.
Yeah, that first step is getting comfortable with it. And y'all have a lot of fun, too. Your department offers some really cool events, such as the International Film Festival, the Hispanic Heritage Film Series, and Guest Speaker Series. Are these events that are open to the community as well, or is it just your students?
Most of the events are open and free to the community. So the idea behind that is that we hope to create that bridge between the college and the community, and we want our students to also interact with people from the community. And so you mentioned the International Film Festival, the Spanish film series. We have guest speakers. We also take our students out to the community to different events. For example, in the month of October, we are celebrating a number of language and heritages, German American, Italian American, and of course the Hispanic Heritage Month in October, all of these things. So our instructors plan a number of events on campus and off campus. For example, films. It's something that we have 2 film venues, the International Film Festival, which is offered on selected Fridays, and it's open. Everything is open to the community, but that's where we see a lot of community members that come and enjoy a film and a discussion. And then we have the other one, which is offered during the weekday. It's also open to the community, but we tend to see the students, that audience, because, of course, we encourage all the language students to attend all these events. Films can be a transformative experience and for all the participants, and they kind of align with the mission of promoting culture and language. And, of course, it just enhances the educational experience for students. It's also a dynamic way to celebrate the richness of our society and providing the worldview.
Yeah, you mentioned, so you bring the community onto your campus for your events. Your events are open to the community. You also mentioned that you take your students and your programs off campus, and I know you try to stay connected with the local community. How do you stay connected? How does your department stay connected with the community and engage in cultural outreach initiatives?
Okay, so because, see, for us, first of all, our students live in this community or they work in the community, and they bring all that information. They bring and they take all that information, and they invite us to participate. And, for example, with Santa Clarita Sister Cities, they have a number of events. Just recently, the city of Santa Clarita has been offered Celebrate, which is a wonderful celebration of cultures. And so we announce it at our campus to our students. We provide extra credit. They do an activity over there. They also volunteer. They also, we take students to go and have coffee and have tertulias, which is a conversation out there to, whether it is a churro place, a Starbucks, and also we have a number of partnerships with LA Opera, where our students are able to go and see a dress rehearsal of an opera. Or like this semester, we are lucky that we receive a grant, and we're actually taking students to an opera.
Nice.
This opera is a Spanish-speaking opera on Frida Kahlo. And, of course, we're celebrating the Hispanic Heritage Month. Same thing with an opera in Italian, Don Giovanni's. Our students have already gone a few days ago to the dress rehearsal of that opera. They're also going to the Reagan Library on October 6th for the Auschwitz exhibit, again, celebrating German Heritage Month, and so forth. So we really don't see that we can call it the college, but it's really our community. It extends. We also have guest speakers and performers that come to our campus. Some of our partners, SCBYO, Vento Sur, and so they come and go. And some of the foreign language instructors from the high school too, they're welcome. And we have an open door policy that we invite them to come and connect with us.
I love that. It's a fully immersive experience, the way languages and cultures need to be learned and absorbed. And Dr. Acosta, I also understand that y'all just don't start on the beginning of each semester. You've got classes that are beginning constantly. You've got accelerated classes that start each month. And so if you're looking to learn a new language or start your degree program, go ahead and head out to COC, look up Dr. Acosta and the rest of her department. Dr. Claudia Acosta, Chair of the Department of Modern Languages and Cultures at COC. Thank you so much for your time. Que tenga un buen fin de semana, doctora.
Muchas gracias.
I am Matt Watson. You're listening to SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. I am Matt Watson, your host, and you're listening to SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley. And, you might be on 98.1 FM, you might be on 1220 AM, you might be on Facebook Live, where you're noticing, actually, not bad. Engineer Andrew's doing a great job of keeping the logo for my laptop and my coffee off camera. Ain't no corporate sellouts here. No way. We are bringing our organic show to you directly live from the center of Main Street here in beautiful downtown Newhall. I am joined now by Jeff Stabile. Jeff has been a leader in the community on LGBTQIA plus issues, mental health, and veteran services. A U.S. Air Force and Vietnam veteran himself, in 2018, Jeff started to volunteer with the Santa Clarita Veterans Service Collaborative, which is a leader in the area of serving veterans, providing services and linkages for veterans needing housing, mental health counseling, food, and benefits. Jeff is a member of the Santa Clarita Valley Services Collaborative, Veteran Services Collaborative Board of Directors, presents talks to various groups about SCVSC services, conducts fundraisers, regularly searches out, trains, and coordinates volunteers, picks up food for the pantry twice a week, staffs resource tables at various events, publishes the newsletter, disseminates all news releases and PR articles, plans events with other community partners, and appears on local radio and TV to promote the Veterans Organization. He has additional volunteer experience with the Special Olympics, Red Cross, graffiti removal programs, and suicide prevention, postvention, and wellness committee in Los Angeles County. And ever the advocate to support all in need, Jeff and his wife Peggy started the Santa Clarita Valley PFLAG, Parents, Families, Friends, and Allies of Lesbians and Gays. And recently, he was named the National Association of Social Workers California Community Member of the Year. Jeff, welcome back to Eye on the Valley.
Okay, Matt, thank you. Great to be here.
You keep super busy, and you're serving so many in our community. We really appreciate you coming in. You've been incredibly active in the community for years now. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about how and when you came to Santa Clarita and why you and your family have been so active through the years? Why is that important to you, Jeff?
Well, we moved here in 1979 when there was very little in here. There was nothing west of the 5 freeway.
Just snakes and sticks, I remember.
Yeah. And I remember my wife was reading in the paper, and I was reading one time. It was probably about a year or two later about how graffiti was really, starting to grow in the valley. Mm-hmm. And I, put the paper down on the paper. Somebody should do something about this. That's just ridiculous. And then I caught myself saying, well, that's you, idiot.
Right, who is somebody?
Do somebody. So that's where it started, doing that for a number of years. We were just a volunteer group. And we would go out every Saturday and clean up, and that's what kind of started the volunteering or getting involved in the community, and it just continued on that ever since.
And so, yeah, you've continued on, and now one of the initiatives that you lead is the Veteran Service Center Collaborative. Can you tell us when the Veteran Service Center Collaborative was founded?
Well, it was actually incorporated as a 501c3 nonprofit in 2017. 2017. And in 2018, we moved into the current location on Lyons Avenue and have been there ever since. And again, this was, reading the newspaper and saying, oh, here's something, because I had just recently retired, and Peg said, you ought to get involved in, something. And we read the thing in the paper about the collaborative, went over and just started volunteering in February of 2018.
Okay, so you started out as a volunteer, and now you lead the organization. Do you have numbers? I see, you're wearing your U.S. Air Force veterans hat, and I see a lot of folks around town, wearing their hats or shirts, things like that. Do you know how many veterans we have in the Santa Clarita area?
Well, I took a look at census data. It was back in 2020. And the 5 zip codes that make up the city of Santa Clarita, there are over 10,000. There were 10,000 registered veterans just within the 5 zip code. And if you took a look at the time what the congressional district was, which included Simi Valley and Antelope Valley, there were 34,000.
Wow.
So now, but this is the 3rd largest city in the county.
Right,
so,
and you're talking just city proper. We're not talking Stevenson Ranch, Castaic, areas that we consider part of the Santa Clarita Valley,
That's right, that's the only census data I could find was for those 5 zip codes for the city. So it's over 10,000, that are just within the city limits. And then once you go outside the city, it just goes on from there. And we serve veterans, active duty, and their families.
Okay.
So, but you don't have to just be here in Santa Clarita. We get calls from out of state. We get calls from Florida, from Georgia, from Nevada, from Northern California. People call up from the valley and, can I come up? And I said, sure. So any veteran that walks in the door or family member that needs any assistance, all we ask them is, how can we help you? And then we go from there. And that includes caregivers, because you've got a number of veterans that are immobile.
Right.
And they can't come in, but they need the services. So we will treat the caregiver as the family.
Right.
And we can talk to them about the different services, the paperwork, etc. So, we just try and make sure it's going to the veteran or their family.
Sure. That is beautiful. Jeff Stabile with the Veteran Service Center Collaborative, serving those who have served us, giving everything that they have, and now when they come home, sometimes oftentimes they need to be taken care of, and we need to do everything that we can to take care of our veterans. So let's talk about, because you mentioned folks call you from out of state. You provide tremendous support and connection for veterans. Tell us what services you have available for veterans and their families at the Service Center.
Well, we're a resource referral organization. We have a lot of companies that have decided to become a member of the collaborative, and it doesn't cost anything to become a member. Excuse me, but what you have to do is you have to give something significant to the veteran for us to say, okay, we're going to put your literature up, we'll put you on a website, on our Facebook.
Okay.
But if you come in and say, we'll give all veterans a 5% discount or 10%, you and I can go into any store, and if we talk long enough, we're going to end up getting a discount. So that's not significant, okay?
Right.
But tell us what makes you different. And I've had companies call and say, I want to be part of your organization and, help. And I said, okay, what significant service do you give to veterans? Well, we have the greatest service and we do this. And I said, that's what everybody says when they come in. what significant benefit do you give that nobody else gives? And a lot of companies can't answer that.
Sure.
Okay? So it's like, okay, well, we're not going to promote your product, organization, etc.
Right.
If you're going to do the same thing you should do everybody else. You come up with something significant, we'll be more than happy to put it in there. So we vet all of the organizations. So if somebody comes in the door, we ask them, how can we help you? And then they just tell us what their issue is, what they're dealing with. And then we go from there. Either we say, okay, here are, if it's legal, here are some legal organizations that you can talk to. If it's financial, here's some financial. If it's housing, we've got, realtors. If you have, if you need a lot of, majority, probably 60, 70% of people coming in are looking at VA benefits. And it's the website for the VA, va.gov, is immense and has a lot of information. But sometimes it's a little difficult to get through the website, and because there are so many things that you can do, and people really get frustrated. And some veterans are comfortable working with electronic media, other ones are not. And a lot of your older, my era, are not that comfortable working with electronic media. So we help them out. Okay. And then we have, on Tuesday mornings, we have post-service officers from the VFW post who are familiar with VA benefits. They used to be service officers with the VA years ago, and they get training, updated training each year. They come in to help explain benefits and paperwork and which forms you need, etc., to people. We also have on Thursday VPAN, which is Veteran Peer Access Network. That's a county organization that hires veterans to deal with veterans.
Okay.
And they come in and they're in just about all day on Thursday. Same thing. Help them with the paperwork, help them understand. Now, they can't, the VPAN or the PSOs cannot process a claim. They can't go into the system and look up a veteran's records because that's really your private information. So that's control, which I really appreciate, really like that only veteran service officers who are these county employees can have access to the system. It just protects the records because your medical records are there, Social Security number, all that sort of stuff.
And that's important.
Yeah. So just on this past year, we've finally got a dedicated VSO up in Santa Clarita. We used to have them, and they would sporadically come in and out because we're talking about L.A. County, and these VSOs have to cover everybody in L.A. County.
Sure.
And so they would be moved around a lot. And, with any government organization, you have attrition, you have people that get poached by, private sector, et cetera, and they're gone. So, their employment group kind of goes up and down. So they got to keep moving these VSOs all around.
Sure.
Well, finally, with the help of the congressman's office, the assemblywoman's office, et cetera, they helped us get a dedicated VSO every Monday from 8 till 4, every Monday. There's a VSO there. And now I was talking with the VSO just this past weekend, and they see 20 to 25 people a day coming in. And that's probably going to grow because of the new benefits that have come out from the VA, the PACT Act, which is toxic and materials, et cetera. So some people are reapplying because they were denied years ago when the law wasn't in effect. Other ones just thought once they got a letter of denial, that was it, and they couldn't do it. They didn't know that, there's a process where you reapply and explain your reasons for that. So that's where what we do is we help them go through that process and the paperwork and which forms to do and, what to put in those forms, so that it'll be much more clear to the people at the VA. And then they take that to a VSO. and the VSO then looks over everything, inputs the claim, and can look in their records and answer some questions for them. So we try and smooth out the process versus the veteran going directly to the VSO and then starting to ask all these questions. And that interview, let's say, could take an hour and a half.
Sure.
Where we could probably eliminate an hour of those questions by helping them fill out the forms and, need to do. So when they go to the VSO, it's like, okay, here, I filled out all of the stuff, here's this paperwork, etc. It then gives the VSO the opportunity to see more people.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So
kind of amplifying services.
Yeah. So we do that. We've got a food bank. We pick up.
So important.
We actually pick up 4 times a week. We pick up twice from Ralph's, twice a week. Once a week from Vaughn's through the VFW auxiliary. They pick up food and bring it into us. And then we also work with Grocery Outlet over on Plum Canyon. So
Fantastic.
We have baked goods, which are breads, cakes, cookies, cupcakes, stuff like that. Then we have packaged and canned goods. And we've got 5 shelving units. We only have 1,300 square feet, so we're kind of limited on space. But we have 5 shelving units that are just packed and staffed with food every week. And we've seen, because of the economic situation, an increase in the number of people coming in to get food, and the number of people coming in on a regular basis has increased, because we serve over 2,000 people a year through our facility, and we just have, we have 20 shifts during the week, 5 days, 2 people in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and they come in and they help answer questions. They direct people. We've got medical equipment. We give out walkers, canes, wheelchair that are donated to us that are no cost to the veteran. And we have refrigerated items. We have sandwiches, salads, all that kind of stuff that we only have one small refrigerator because that's all we can fit. But we stock that, and generally we stock that the beginning of the week, and by the end of the week, there's maybe 7 items left in the refrigerator. So a lot of people know that. They come in, say, on a regular basis. We also work and help. We have several unhoused veterans that come in, and the first thing we want them to do is make sure, did you need something to eat? So, we let them. We have a microwave, so they can take one of the ready-to-eat meals or salad, put it in there, and sit down and let's make sure they have some food in them, and then give them some shopping bag and say, whatever you can carry, go ahead and take some food. So, and then there are 2 computers that we have that they can come in and sit down and use the computers if they need to. Because some of them don't, they don't have a computer. They have their phone, but they want a computer. Welcome again. Or they can come in and sit and talk.
Which is important. Very important.
Yes. Yeah.
Growing up, Jeff, my dad taught me it's always important to know a guy. You're having car trouble? Come here. I know a guy. You're looking to buy a house? Come here. I know a guy. A little down on your luck? Come here. I know a guy. At the Veteran Service Center Collaborative, you are the guy for those veterans to get them connected with whatever they need, regardless of what they're dealing with. And families, too. I want to talk a little bit more about that when we get back from the break.
Okay.
Jeff Stabile, director of the Santa Clarita Veteran Service Collaborative and California Community Member of the Year, joins me this morning. When we get back, we'll get more information on how veterans and their families can access the many services that Jeff and his team provide. I'm Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVI and iLEAD Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVI and iLEAD Schools Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson, and we're talking this morning with the director of the Santa Clarita Veteran Service Collaborative and California Community Member of the Year, Jeff Stabile. Jeff, I can imagine for a lot of veterans, it's not always easy to reach out and ask for help. But if you're listening, I would encourage you. You've given so much to our country and to your community. Let your community give a little something back. Let the Services Center Collaborative help you if that's something that you need, or just come in and hang out and have some conversations. Jeff, how would a veteran who's never applied for services before get help? What's the process?
Well, the best thing for somebody to come in is just explain what they're experiencing right now or what they have been experiencing, and then we generally set them up after talking with them for a little while. We get a pretty good idea what they're looking for. So then we will arrange for them to meet either with the PSO or the VPAN to really go into some depth and start going through the paperwork and the forms and things. Okay. We have federal benefit books that we get from the Congressman's office. We have the CalVet books that we get from the Assemblywoman's office. And we also produce our own local directory. These are companies that are members of the collaborative that we've vetted, and we provide referrals and resources for 21 different community services. And so we produce this book in-house because we used to, when we first started putting it out, we'd send it and get it printed, and of course in 2 to 3 weeks it's out of date because the telephone number has changed or some person or something like that. So now we produce it in-house. We keep it on the computer.
Great.
Then what we do is we print it, we punch it, we collate it, and we put spiral binding on it so we can update it more often when we get new companies that are coming in or other ones that are possibly no longer in business. So we give them primarily those 3 books and say, look, this is a thing that can help you. Take a look at the areas that that you're looking for assistance, read a little bit about it, and then come in, see the PSO or the VPAN rep, and now you're a little bit more educated on some of the possibilities that you have.
Okay.
And then they go from there. But some of them initially, it's like just come in and sit down and have a cup of coffee and have a cupcake or something like that, and let's just sit and talk and until they get comfortable. And we've had veterans that come in and sit down and talk. And they say, I've never mentioned any of this thing to my family.
Sure.
But they just feel a little bit more comfortable that they're talking to another veteran.
Exactly.
And that's it. There's no expectations. There's no judgments. You just want to talk. Let's talk about what you did 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 40 years ago that maybe you haven't really talked to somebody, or maybe a spouse has died.
Yeah.
And now there's nobody at home to speak to and to talk to, even though that spouse has probably heard possibly the story many times, but sometimes not. Well, we have people that come in, and unfortunately, of course, we have people that come in and say, my spouse just passed away. What do I do? What are benefits? What do I do about burial and flag? So we can help with all of that.
Great.
So it's just really coming in and sitting down and see what we're all about.
Sure.
Just see what we do, what we give out, and if you're comfortable, then we go from there. So it's not something where you come in, you have to know exactly what you want and tell us, and that's not it. Just let's talk. And,
I love that.
And we will uncover some things that they are probably not aware of and that they never knew they were entitled to, because it's not that you have to be in a certain combat zone or doing a certain military occupational specialty.
Okay.
If you're in the military and you served your time, you are entitled to certain benefits.
Right.
And we explain those, and we have a sheet that says, okay, if you have any type of compensation level, which can go from 10% to 100%, depending on the percentage, here are all the things that you're entitled to. Right. And we tell them, make sure you read the CalVet state book as well as the federal, because the state offers certain things to the military that the federal doesn't.
That's awesome.
Okay, so we give them all these resources, and they can use it as much as they want, as little as they want, and understand. Some of them have gone down to the VA, especially in Sepulveda, and that's a huge organization. They've got lots of people coming in there. They're understaffed. They're constantly understaffed, and unfortunately, some veterans get frustrated because it takes so long. You go in and say, "Okay, we can set you up 3 weeks from now." Which is understandable. I mean,
sure.
Just because of that.
And 3 weeks, honestly, isn't bad.
It's not bad.
But it's
some people that have been going through something for quite a long time, to get 3 weeks just to go sit and talk to somebody,
sure,
it's a little frustrating. And we've had people come in and sit down for 20 minutes and just rant and rave about what they've been going through, et cetera. And, okay, we just listen. Once they've settled down, we'll say, okay, here's what I think we can do. And then we provide them with whatever information or set up a time. But we want them to walk out the door with something they can action that day, not wait for 2 or 3 weeks. And even if it's, here's a number to call, here's something to read, et cetera, it's something that it's making some progress, on your issue.
That is great. So warm, opening, welcoming to veterans, to active military, and their families. That's just absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Now, I understand coming up next Friday, September 29th, you're hosting a special event for veterans and the community. Can you tell folks about the Veterans Job Fair at College of the Canyons?
Yeah, this is something that we've actually been working on for about a year now.
Okay.
I got a call from Curtis Wright Defense Solutions over in the Industrial Center. And they said, we're reading about you, and we just want to see what we could do to do something together. So we were talking, and we started coming up with this, what about a job fair?
Yeah.
Which I've been thinking about for years, but just trying to get with a venue. And then actually through the suicide prevention that's at COC with Larry Shallert, we were talking, and he said, well, how about COC comes and partner with you? Maybe we can hold it in the East Gym here. We said,
great.
That sounds like a great idea. So that's what we ended up doing, is it'll be held at the East Gym at COC on the 29th, next Friday, from 10 to 2. And it's for veterans, active military, and their families.
Okay.
It is not open to the rest of the community. It's just for veterans, and all of the companies that have signed up know that it's veterans coming in, and they're looking at it. So we've got 43 companies that have signed up, no cost to the companies, and we provide a table, 2 chairs, and you bring your literature and your tablecloth and everything, and we'll put a table aside for you. And so it's just for veterans who are either just separating from the military. Some may be still in the military, and they're going to separate within a month or so, or something like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Could be veterans that are looking to transfer, change some type of job or some field or something like that. Ironically, we've got Clark County, Nevada Fire Department coming down.
Oh, great.
And having a table. We've got
fantastic.
We got a company from San Diego coming in.
Okay.
We got Amazon. We have Crane Aerospace. We got Curtis Wright. We've got just trying to remember all the other companies that we have, and we're getting more. I got another one just yesterday that they called on, and even though the flyer says, put your application in by the 12th, we're still accepting. If we have room, we're still accepting companies.
That's good to know. So we're talking about September 29th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at College of the Canyons.
Right.
You've got a job fair strictly for veterans, active duty members that are looking to transition into the workplace, and their families.
That's correct.
Exclusively for them. And it's free for employers. You're going to give them a table.
Yep.
If you're willing to give a job to a veteran or their family, come on out. Jeff's got a table for you for free. So, and it's still open. You're still looking to add more employers. If an employer is interested, how do they get a hold of you? How do they get their table?
Well, they can go onto our website, because we had a special job fair page that all the information is there. There's a QR code that they can click on, and the application will pop up, and then they just shoot in the application, and once we get it, we just send a note back. Okay, got your application. Your table is set. Come on in, and Starbucks is coming in, and they're going to provide coffee all day for everybody.
Love it.
Which is nice. They've really helped us out quite a bit and supported us on a lot of programs. So we're really very thankful for Starbucks. And COC has been very helpful with us also. If anybody is ever wondering about working with COC on an event, let me tell you, as far as they're concerned, they're great. They do everything for us.
Terrific. So I'm going to put their logo on camera now.
Yeah.
So good on you, Starbucks.
Okay.
I'm proud of you. That is fantastic. So again, if you're an employer that's got some jobs that you're willing to offer to veterans and their families, go ahead and jump on the Veterans Services Collaborative website. It's scv-vets.org, scv-vets.org, and Jeff will get you a table and get you out there. And what about if you are one of those folks that's looking for a job, a spouse, family member, or veteran yourself that's looking for a job? Is it the same thing? Go to the website?
You can go to the website, or you can just show up.
Just show up.
Just
September
show up.
29th, 10 a.m. at College of the Canyons. You
Right.
said it's in the East Gym.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm sure you're going to have signs out there directing people.
Yeah,
and,
we will. Yeah, we'll have individuals in their safety vests out there, directing traffic, and they can go on our website as you mentioned. They can read about it. If they have any questions, they can give me a call because my contact information is on the flyer also.
Okay, great.
But it's just come in anywhere from 10 to 2, and you got over 40 companies that you can talk to.
Fantastic. So you've got over 40 companies coming in to help service the over 10,000 veterans here in the Santa Clarita area. Mm-hmm. But I want to bring everybody else in because, Jeff, I think you've felt the love over the years, and I certainly know that the Santa Clarita community loves and respects our veterans and appreciate their service. So what if that's me? I'm not an employer. I don't have a job that I can offer. I'm not a veteran or family member that is looking for a job, but I still want to get involved with the Veterans Services Collaborative. How can the community get involved? Can they volunteer? Are you in need of financial support? What can the community do to support the amazing work that you're doing for our veterans?
Yeah, well, we're always in need of financial support because we are not funded by anybody. We're not part of any government organization, VA, etc. We're volunteer nonprofit.
Okay.
So there's a donation page on the website. If they want to volunteer, there's a volunteer application on the website, and if they fill that out and send it in, that gets directed to me.
Okay.
And then I'll follow up, with them to see what they're interested in doing. Because we have, not only shifts at the Veteran Center, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to have any experience. We'll put you through a training, and we'll do some shadowing with you for several weeks. So it's not where we're just going to put you into the desk and say, okay,
right,
you're in
go
now.
help somebody in need.
Yeah. So we have that, but we also have events like this job fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like last week, we did there was a health fair over at Golden Valley.
Yeah.
So we were there, and we had other volunteers that came and helped us there.
Okay.
Same day we did a Guardians program,
Yeah.
and we had another whole set of volunteers over there. So you can do special events. You can help set up tables. We may have food drives, and you can help out at that. So it's not something that you need to come in and be at the center
Oh, great.
on a daily basis. It's when you have time, and I just add you to the volunteer list and this email list we send out and say, here's what's going on, here's what we need some help on these things. If you're free, let us know.
Fantastic.
And it's also, when we're putting these books together,
Yeah.
we ask for help. Come on in this day. We're going to
Sure.
have a little book party and put all these books together and things like that. So, and then we say we got to straighten out our storage unit. So let's
you go.
get some help. Those types of things. And then we also say if you have any medical equipment that you have, like the canes or walkers, the wheelchairs that are in good shape,
Mm-hmm.
that you no longer have need of, because some people have them because they had an operation and they ended up getting a wheelchair while they were recuperating.
Right.
But now they really
Now
don't
they're
need
back
it
on their
anymore.
feet,
If
or-
they need it, and when we loan them out, it's just like when we loan it out, once you don't need it any longer, if it's still good condition, bring it back, and
Yeah.
we will reloan that to somebody else. So we recycle. But we're limited on, like, we can't take we can't take produce or meat products in our food bank. We can't take clothes because we just don't have the facility
Sure.
to house all of the clothes and things.
Yeah.
So we're limited on that, but we do get a lot of people coming in. Yesterday, a guy came in and says, "Okay, can I have one of these canes?" That's what they're there for. Yep,
Fantastic.
Just coming in. So we're seeing more and more people. We have slowly grown from pre-pandemic to where we are today, which is averaging 8 to 9 people a day coming in, and that puts us well over 2,000 people coming in each year. So because we have everybody sign in, not that we want to keep track of them, but if a question comes up and we say, we remember somebody was in here the other day, and we have these sign-in sheets. We go, here's the person. We can give them a call or send them an email and say, hey, you were asking about this. We just got a wheelchair in, or we just got this that you were thinking about. You want to come in and take a look at it. So we have everybody sign in, and that lets us know how many people are you seeing, and if we apply for grants and things, we say, okay, we're tracking everybody comes in. We're also starting to track the telephone calls.
Okay.
Because we used to just track people
The
walk-ins.
in-person visits. Okay.
But now we're also, because we're spending, sometimes we spend a lot of the day on the phone referring people to the VSO or telling them about other things that we're doing. So we're starting to track that also. Add that in the figures.
That is fantastic. So you're providing all kinds of connections and services for the veterans and their families in our area. And if that's not you, you can still contribute. I want you to go to scv-vets.org. Top right corner's got your donate button. Right in the center is the volunteer button. If you're looking to get involved, you don't need to have any special skills or supplies, but if you do, great. Otherwise, throw on a vest, help Jeff direct traffic at the at the job fair for veterans next weekend. And then right there is the flyer, the Veteran Job Fair, Friday, September 29th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at COC. Help them out, get involved, because our veterans certainly need it and deserve it. Jeff, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for your service, sir, and everything that you continue to do to serve veterans and the rest of our community. You have a good weekend, sir.
Okay, always a pleasure, Matt. Thank you.
All right, stick around. Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame are coming up. This is SCVI, and iLEAD Schools Eye in the Valley. I'm Matt Watson, and this is your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station. 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVI and iLEAD Schools Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson, and now it is time for Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. Y'all know Big T. Big T is an executive and philanthropist. He's an amazing father, husband, and a community leader. He's a world traveler, and he is a man who is absolutely impossible to underestimate. Here he is, everybody. He's Mom's favorite. Big T, welcome to the show.
Morning, brother man.
Hey, we got Engineer Andrew in the studio. You know, I mopped the floor with him a couple of weeks back, and he's in. He wants a rematch this week. He thinks he can take me.
I think I can. Good morning.
I think he's going to take you. He's quicker than you.
Well, that is true. That is true. I'm not as nimble as I used to be. All right, so if you're playing along at home, Engineer Andrew, you remember the rules. Big T's got questions for us. You're going to hit your buzzer by calling your name. But if you're playing at home, you've got an advantage on us. You don't have to hit your buzzer. Just shout out the answer. See if you can beat us. But I bet you won't. I bet you won't. All right, Andrew, let's do this. Big T, what have you got for us?
Well, I want to kick it off. Papa redeemed himself a little bit last week with North Carolina, so
he did.
He's now 1-2 for the year. Papa says take the Seminoles this week and lay the couple of points.
He's taking Florida State and laying the points.
How's the guy?
All right.
All righty. All right, let's kick it off. Here we go. Before embarking on a solo career, Beyonce was part of what R&B group?
Oh,
Andrew.
Destiny's Child.
I told you he was quicker than you, Frogger.
Yeah. And what a great name for a group, by the way, Destiny's Child.
Right?
Love it.
What actor played Alex Keaton on
Frogger.
the 80s TV show? Frogger.
That would be Michael J. Fox, and it was Alex P. Keaton. Boom.
All right.
Yeah. The Rockettes dance group most famously performed at what New
Frogger.
York City vendor? Frogger.
And Andrew and I both had our hands on our buzzers. It is the Radio City Music Hall.
That is correct. What Andrew Lloyd Webber Broadway show features the characters Mephistopheles and Old Deuteronomy?
Frogger.
Frogger.
That'd be Cats, and yes, I am embarrassed about that one.
So you've seen Cats and Barbie?
Absolutely.
Okay,
All right.
just checking.
Hey, Big T, how was that Sausage Fest last weekend?
It was very good. The
Yeah.
music was good.
Uh-huh.
The beer garden was good. The sausage was tasty.
Fantastic. All right, but enough about you. Let's keep going.
What is the name of Elvis Presley's Memphis home?
Frogger.
Okay.
Oh, we're talking about Graceland, baby.
Graceland is correct.
Graceland.
Michael Flatley danced his way to fame with what Irish-inspired show?
Andrew. Oh, was it Lord of the Dance?
Incorrect.
No?
I cannot give you that.
Okay, Frogger, I think that was his sophomore appearance. It was Riverdance.
Riverdance is correct.
There
Oh,
we go.
I'll take a half point on that.
Yeah, all right, you got the half point. 1.5.
What 1994 Quentin Tarantino movie starred John Travolta
Andrew.
and Samuel L. Jackson? Andrew.
What is Pulp Fiction?
Pulp
give you the
Fiction
what
is correct.
is.
Way to answer in the form of a question. Trebek and his mom would be proud. What actor comedian found fame on the TV show Mork and Mindy?
Andrew.
Oh,
Andrew.
Robin Williams.
The late great Robin Williams, not much better than him.
nano.
Michael Jackson teamed up with what notable guitar player for the 1982 song "Beat It"?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Andrew, was it? I was gonna say Slash.
Ooh, that was a little early.
Yeah.
Frogger, I'm going to go with Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen.
Oh,
Score!
What is the capital of France?
Frogger.
Frogger.
F. Yeah, I'm kidding. Paris.
Paris. Who is Mickey Mouse's wife?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Minnie Mouse.
Minnie Mouse is correct.
Okay.
Matt, did
Were-
you hear the
were they
news
ever
recently
married?
that Mickey and Minnie broke. Yeah. Well, I think so. Did you hear the news recently though that Mickey and Minnie broke up?
I did not hear that. That's tragic, Tony.
Yeah, it is tragic. I'll have to tell you off the air.
Okay.
Okay. Jack and Jill were going up what?
Andrew.
Andrew.
The Hill.
They were going up the hill. How many continents are there in the world?
Andrew. 7.
7 is correct. Nice pull.
Hey.
There we go. Are we on yet? Are we ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm starting to see a theme. We got another SpongeBob question. Who's SpongeBob's best friend?
Andrew. That is Patrick Starr.
Patrick Starr's correct.
He knows the first and last name. Going full government on Patrick.
How many sides does the Pentagon have?
Andrew.
Oh,
5.
5. That quickness is coming back, Frogger. You better be careful.
he's half a point behind.
What is the name of Harry Potter's father?
Oh, Frogger.
Frogger.
Jeffrey.
Incorrect.
Andrew. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail at this. No, I was gonna say Alan. No.
Incorrect. It's James Potter.
James.
Okay.
I'm gonna get flack on that question.
Where do penguins live?
Frogger.
Frogger.
It's not in an igloo.
In the cold.
Right, in the cold, right? In Antarctica.
Antarctica is correct.
Yes.
How many quarters are there in a dollar?
Andrew.
Frogger.
All right.
Oh, I answered Andrew first. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
All right. 4.
4 is correct. How many quarters are there in $5?
Frogger.
Frogger.
20.
20 is correct. Which Disney princess lost her shoe?
Andrew.
Oh,
Cinderella.
Cinderella's correct. And we covered last week what shoe it was. Do you remember that, Frogger?
I do. It was the left shoe.
It was the left. No points for that. Just checking your memory.
But now, I'm still. I take my ginkgo biloba.
Okay, good. It's just at your age, you need memory checks every now and then, I think. At least I remember.
I don't know, maybe.
At what temperature does water freeze?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Get it?
32.
32 degrees Fahrenheit.
There you go.
What animals are Tom and Jerry?
Frogger.
Frogger.
Tomcat and Jerry Mouse.
That is correct. Who's the evil woman that wanted to steal all the Dalmatians?
Frogger.
Andrew.
Got Frogger first.
That'd be Cruella de Vil.
Cruella de Vil was correct. Who's the villain in Aladdin?
Frogger.
Andrew.
I think Frogger was first on that. Would you agree?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going Jafar.
Jafar is correct. Which country is also a continent?
Frogger.
Frogger.
That'd be Australia.
Australia is correct. What travels faster, light or sound?
Frogger.
Frogger.
I can see it from here. Light.
Light is correct. How do you guys like these easy questions that are making you both seem like geniuses?
Right?
Hey,
Thank you.
speaking of the speed of light and sound, do you know that I can run faster than the speed of smell?
All right.
All right, Big T, we got time for about one more.
I was going to mention crop dusting, but I won't.
Okay.
Where's the Leaning Tower of Pisa?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Italy?
It's in Pisa.
Italy's correct.
It leans there.
All right, one more, really quick.
Cleopatra was the queen of which country?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Egypt?
Egypt is correct.
There we
Are you
go.
going to give him another chance to keep beating you?
No. He got it, but I beat him by the hook, man.
Oh, come on.
Got him by that half point. All right, Big T, we do have to wrap up, but thanks for swinging by. We'd also like to thank our guests, Jenny Joy and Julia Kim, directors of iLEAD Exploration, Dr. Claudia Acosta, chair of the Department of Modern Languages and Cultures at College of the Canyons, producer Sarah, engineer Andrew, Big T, and thank you for listening. Remember, life is hard, but we're all here to help each other along, just like Jeff Stabile from the Veterans Services Collaborative. You be well and do good. Join us again next week and every Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVI and iLEAD Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.